Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Mel, Unsolved Tarot Mysteries. How you guys doing? Eternal Believe 1111 is my cash out. If you guys are interested in donating to my channel, if you are interested in booking a personal reading, you may check my description box for my email, Divine Masculine. The dice landed on the number 8, 22 seconds. So Divine Masculine, we will read card number 8 for you. What's going on, Divine Masculine, huh? Ancient Egypt, the Book of Doors, and Alchemical Oracle from Ancient Egypt. Welcome to Egypt, Divine Masculine. Card number 8. Ooh, God, so good. He just did it. He did it like that yesterday in Divine Feminine reading. Divine Masculine. So this tells me you have linked up in Egypt with Divine Feminine. Say you pulled the David and the Bathsheba. King Solomon and Queen Nefertiti say y'all had to come together and meet. Say the royals had to come together and have a funky good time. Okay. So you are celebrating right now. Divine Masculine. Ra, the god Ra. Asur is your card, Divine Masculine. Let me read you your spiritual message from your ancestors. See what you got going on over here in Egypt. Boy, cause you want Divine Feminine, she was cool and she was resting on vacation at the end of the reading. So Divine Masculine, what you got going on? Have you woke Divine Feminine up? What you doing? Also, oh, okay, Divine Masculine. He who is seen. He who is seen. Say the people looking at you. The community, people in your family, and on your public platform. You could be a YouTuber, work from Facebook, Vimeo, Patreon, Instagram. Uh, you could just be a public icon, a leader of some sort. Whatever type of work you do, you could be a welder. I'm hearing an architect, a web designer, something of that sort, Divine Masculine. You could also be an entrepreneur, an author, editor, a publicist. I'm hearing King of Cups energy, a skilled, loving father, brother, nephew, cousin, uncle. Here, Divine Masculine. He who is seen. Combined in the hieroglyph for Ausar or Osiris are the throne of Aset and the eye, which is the eye of Ra that you can see up there in the corner. Yesterday, the word hieroglyph came out in Divine Feminine reading, Divine Masculine. So you definitely probably want to check out Divine Feminine's reading. So you know you're gonna peep in, buzz in on her because you kept trying to intercede in her reading yesterday. Okay. Here the cosmic power is brought down to earth and into human form. You could be dealing with an Aquarius Divine Masculine. Your your feminine could be an Aquarius, or you yourself could be an Aquarius Divine Masculine. As a human, Osset faces both the inevitability, the inevitability of death, and the possibility of resurrection. As a human, Osset faces both the inevitability of death and the possibility of resurrection. Throughout the dynasties and from the very earliest times, the cult of Osir played a very important part in the Egyptian pantheon. Occult tradition asserts that he and Aset came to Earth, bringing with them the knowledge of all the sciences, and spawned a race of divine beings to ensure the continuity of this stellar knowledge. The word stellar came out in another reading I put out, probably in the Guests Have Arrived. I used the Ouija board in that reading about 2 days ago, Divine Masculine. You might want to go check it out. It's called Ouija, the collective reading. The Guests Have Arrived. As Osset symbolized the star Sirius, so the soul of Osir dwelt in Orion, and through their union, the mystery of human life was conceived. You could have just had a baby, or could be trying to get somebody pregnant, or could have just had an intimate encounter with somebody, Divine Masculine. Through the dynasties, Asur assumed many forms, but his most important role in the Egyptian religion was as a knighter of the dead. The occult knowledge and mysteries imparted to the pharaohs and priesthood were based on Ra and the power coming from Sirius, but the whole Egyptian popular religion was based on Asur, with the promise to his worshippers that they too could gain immortality after death. You could be dealing with a Scorpio or have Scorpio placements in your chart, divine masculine, or you yourself could be a Scorpio. Also, is the god of generative power, but not the god of the royal power. The occult way to enlightenment that is through Ra, the sun beyond the sun. Instead, the way of Alcer is the journey through death, resurrection, and reincarnation. You could be walking away from old religious contexts like Christianity, things of that nature, because you believe in spirituality and you know that religion is a stepping stone to spirituality here, divine masculine. So this says you have matured and grown in your teachings, is why God has deemed you as a leader. Say this why you on vacation in motherfucking Egypt. Oh, okay. You on vacation right now. As the awesome God of the dead, Auster appears as a mummy representing the spirit enclosed in matter and bound in human form. You could be dealing with a Pisces or a Virgo, or have them placements in your chart, or you yourself could be a Pisces or a Virgo, divine masculine. But the fine weaving of the linen embalming clothes includes Neith, who weaves together the threads interconnecting our principles, our existence. You could have just bought some new clothes, went out somewhere. You might need to check out the Leo reading, look at my dad. You could be married to a seamstress or a woman that is able to sew and design her own clothes. Auster is wrapped in this transcendental knowledge, by which means the body is transmuted and the integrity of consciousness is preserved even through the dead of the physical form. Divine masculine, this says you comprehend life, death, resurrection, meaning you comprehend when God is present, when Jesus is present. You comprehend that when your ancestors pass away, and if a baby is born at that current time, you realize that that ancestor then takes the vessel of that baby that has been born. Things of that nature. Say you know what's going on. So you be with God. 733, you be with your ancestors, divine masculine. He holds two scepters to signify the two alchemical phases of sublimation and fermentation. The neck the neck ha scepter symbolizes spiritual power and sublimation. The head scepter in the shape of a crook symbolizes the alchemical ferment, and the way that they are held in the hands also has a very precise meaning. In this card, his hands holding the scepters are opposing fists signifying judgment. When his hands are crossed at the wrist, they indicate death, and when the scepters and hands are both crossed, they indicate resurrection. Also wears the teeth crown, and on either side of his throne are hung the skins of the pied bull sacrificed during the funeral ceremony. Their heads have been cut off and blood drips into the sacrificial bowls. As a principle involved in the renewal of life, also is said to be born with the moon every month, as offerings were made at his monthly festivals throughout Egypt. This tells me you enjoy 844, honoring your ancestors here, divine masculine. You often putting out food or going to their grave sites to visit them, or just putting out donations for them in some sort of way. So you honor, you pay homage to your ancestors. Saturn is intimately associated with the cycles of death and transformation. You could be dealing with a Capricorn or have Capricorn placements in your chart, or be a Capricorn. And Auser, as God of the dead, represented that which has passed and gone. But his power of regeneration is expressed in his child Heru, who is the new king. Thus, Auser is the continuity of the power of the Pharaoh. You could be having to carry the torch on behalf of your father, who's done passed away here, divine masculine, or you could just be the leading man in your household, because your mother could be a single woman, or you could live with your grandmother, or just as the leading man next in line. You have been gifted with the power of authority, is what I'm hearing. He who is seen. Okay. In the Egyptian genealogy, Alser, Aset, Nepheg, Heru, and Seth were all born from Nut, one of the 8 primordials on the first of the 5 intercalary days, said to be unlucky by the Egyptians. Alser was born and he was proclaimed Lord of creation. As king of Egypt, he is shown wearing the white crown of the South. You could be from the South, you could be from Georgia, Texas, Florida, yeah, Carolina, but mainly Texas, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere like that. 1055. As king of Egypt, he is shown wearing the white crown of the South. The earliest center, you could even be from Memphis. The earliest center of his coat, although it spread to include all of Egypt. He established temples for the gods and a code of laws for the people to follow, and his rule was a time of peace for the land. When he set out to teach the other nations of the world, Aset ruled in his absence. But when he returned, he fell prey to the evil intentions of his brother Seth. You could have a copycat or somebody trying to come up against your knowledge and your wisdom, something that you are learning or teaching. So you need to be aware of a Judas in your presence, divine masculine. At a great banquet, Seth treated him into lying into a chest made exactly to his measurements, which was then sealed and cast into the Nile. The chest was carried by the sea to Byblos, where it lodged into the branches of a huge tamarisk tree. The tree grew to enclose the chest and was eventually cut down by the king of that country, who admired its great size, had it made into a pillar to support his palace. This tree trunk is referred to as the hieroglyph Tet, a name by which Asur is often called, indicating the calling of the spine and having the meaning of stability. Through their divinatory powers, the grieving Aset discovered where the chest was concealed and disguising herself. She went to the palace and became a nurse for one of the king's sons. Instead of nursing the child normally, however, Aset gave him her finger to suck, and every night she put him into a fire to bestow a morality. One night, the queen discovered her son in the flame and was horrified, causing Aset to reveal her true identity. She begged for the pillar in which her husband was imprisoned, and her request granted. She cut open the pillar and took the chest back to Egypt, where she hid it. But Seth came upon the chest one moonlit night, and recognizing it, he pulled out Asur's body, tore it into 14 parts, and scattered the pieces over Egypt. You could have just lost somebody divine masculine. You guys probably cremated that relative. Aset returned to find the body gone, and she began searching once again. Eventually, finding each of its scattered limbs, every part except his phallus, she established a shrine in each place for Asur, with the shrine of his head said to be located at Abydos, almost in the exact center of Egypt, and this became the main center for the cult of Asur. Although Aset failed to find his phallus, she united with his body through the power of her magic, and the child Heru was conceived. Thus, Asur was reborn, and in some papyri, the magical semen is symbolized by the seed emerging from the base of his throne and blooming into a lotus flower that supports the full sun of Heru. Before his death at the hands of Seth, Asur was deceived by Nepheg into sleeping with her instead of her sister. Seth discovered the affair between Asur and Nepheg by a garland of flowers that fell from Asur. In other words, he lost the principle of growth and blossoming through her touch. Through associating himself with the principle of putrefaction, he became a god of death of the reflected world of the Duat. That looked like petrification almost. We have the occasion here to refer to the principle of inversion, to which Pythagoras gave great importance, a principle that is one of the foundations of our symbolism, be it alchemical, Kabbalistic, Taoist, or Hermetic. As above, so below. Inversion is an inborn property of the golden number, 5. It is the only number that multiplies itself with the addition of 1. And the only number, again, that is inverted by subtracting 1. I'm hearing the song Iridium by Labyrinth Divine Masculine. You need to check that song out. You could be studying the periodic table, elements, things of that nature. You could be a science teacher or skilled in science, or you could like math. Okay. You could be a math teacher. You could be an accountant and investor of some sort, divine masculine. This number 5 relates both to the duat, where Alsor is the inverted being, and the earth, where magically revived by Aset. He symbolizes the power of vegetative growth, which expresses the golden proportion, the sacred ratio 5. Another form of Alsor is that of a water god, the annual renewal of vegetation through the fertilizing flood of the Nile. But his most important function was in the Duat, and in the Book of the Dead, he is described as a judge of the deceased and as a black netter. After the judgment of the dead, it was Alsor who decided where the soul was to be sent according to its actions on earth, the devourer. But those souls who emerged victorious could enjoy an ecstatic union with their beloved Alsor. Plutarch gives Alsor a tan complexion but with fair hair. So this tells me the person, divine masculine, you could be kind of bright skinned, fair skinned, brown skinned, or Caucasian. You could be dark skinned, and your divine feminine could be very, bright, light, chestnut brown. Divinatory meaning of this card: death for resurrection, the necessity to let go of attachments, mystical revelation. So divine masculine, you could have just discovered some new things about the occult. You could have just discovered that you are chosen. I'm hearing Theo. That came out in the collective reading the other night with the Ouija board. It was something that Spirit was saying to me when I was reading here on this page. Right here, it says, here the cosmic power is brought down to earth and into human form. As a human offset faces both the inevitability of death and the possibility of resurrection. So this tells me, divine masculine, you have went through a spiritual death, a ego death, and it brought you into a spiritual enlightenment. Somebody could have tried to kill you spiritually. Jesus was sacrificed, so somebody tried to sacrifice you in some sort of way, divine masculine, but they did not realize that you ruled death. They did not realize that you have an interest in the occult, or was gifted the ability to see beyond realms. Veils is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Virgo energy here. Materializing. I'm hearing materialization. Things are coming to play right before your haters' eyes, divine masculine. So prophecies are being filled and are coming true. He who is seen, God is using you and choosing you to do a great thing here, divine masculine. Death for resurrection, the necessity to let go of attachments, mystical revelation. You could have just had a revelation about something, divine masculine, and it allowed you to move on or walk away from a situation that no longer serves you. Be that is love matters, business partner, career, family matters, because the card that came out was the number 8. So even if you had to cut out family members, you had to let that go. Let the concept of the fact that these people are your relatives, you stop allowing that concept to hinder you, so that you can go forth on your spiritual path and in your spiritual purpose. And you realize that God will put you with your soul family when you are walking in divine alignment with your calling. 1933 divine masculine. So you went to Egypt to learn how to cut a hater off. Say you in Egypt on vacation cutting a hater off. Divine feminine was over there letting the truth speak for itself. Oh, okay. I heard that. Coffee in the bag. Well, divine masculine, I ain't gonna hold you up. So you cut out game stronger than them up. So you got to make sure divine feminine is protected. Make sure she can rest good, sleep good, eat good, and stay at peace so y'all can get y'all divine mission completed. I heard that shit. I'm hearing Liz, Hellboy, Red. I'm hearing the part when Hellboy told Liz when he thought she was deceased, when she had done burnt out her psychic powers trying to defeat them things in the end of Hellboy. I want to believe that was part one. Hellboy told Liz, he whispered in her ear and told her, don't make him have to come on the other side to kill whatever spirit was trying to keep her dead. He was gonna come over there and kill the spirit to bring her back. Ah. Boy, I'm hearing Kevin Gates 2055. Go to war with God for your baby. Divine Masculine say you go to war about your love, about your woman. Say you don't play about your woman, your money, your time, your energy, your effort, anything that makes you smile. Okay, say you pull up about it. Okay, I heard that. Shalom, shalom. Well, you have a great time and ease over there, Divine Masculine. And keep calm. Shalom, shalom.